Late-night comedian David Letterman isn't laughing much these days. That's because on October 1st, the world watched as Letterman confessed he was being blackmailed to cover up a series of affairs he had had with female staff members. Now, what David Letterman chooses to do behind closed doors is his business, and ideally, it should stay that way. From that angle, Letterman's actually a victim because his privacy has been violated. But all celebrities live with the constant threat that their private lives could become public knowledge at any moment, and when that happens, they'd better be ready to give an appropriate response for their actions. That brings us to the real question here. Was David Letterman's confession and his handling of that appropriate? In order to answer that question, let's watch a short clip from the night of his confession.
And the creepy stuff was that I have had sex with women who work for me on this show. Now, my response to that is, yes, I have. I have had sex with women who work on this show.
Now, in that clip, we can actually hear the audience applauding for Letterman. What are they clapping for? His sexual prowess? At best, the audience is cheering Letterman for cheating on his long-term girlfriend. At worst, they're applauding him for cheating on his wife. I wonder how many of the women in that audience would be clapping for their own husbands or boyfriends if they were confessing to being unfaithful to them on national television. Now, some analysts are claiming that the audience didn't know that Letterman was being serious. They thought he was just telling a joke. But that's precisely the problem, isn't it? Far from a remorseful apology, Letterman's bipolar delivery of his confession mixed together with jokes seemed flippant and unapologetic. No wonder his wife later demanded a public apology and is now considering a divorce. The American public has a remarkable history of being extremely forgiving for sex scandals. Former President Bill Clinton immediately comes to mind. But when such a scandal comes to light, everyone involved needs to confess the wrongness of their actions, and sincere apologies must be made to everyone who has been hurt. Letterman's ambiguous handling of his scandal has left Americans scratching their heads as to how he really feels about his actions and his affairs. That's unacceptable. Over the long term, the scandal may actually help Letterman's career. His ratings have skyrocketed since the confession first aired. But regardless of the professional impact, Letterman's character and reputation may be permanently damaged. Perhaps in the end, the real lesson here is the danger of the tangled webs we weave when we deceive ourselves and others. And that's no laughing matter. Until next time, I'm Tyler Clemons.